Hi, Mr. Jones. Thanks again for meeting with me today. Today we're going to have some real fun. Uh, we're going to show you in a crystal clear way how to pull out more than $50,000 a year of tax-free money to secure your financial future and for your retirement. So this is going to be awesome. As I said, there are really two things that you'll have to overcome to become financially independent and to secure that early retirement. And the first is inflation, or the second one is taxes. Let's talk first about inflation. If you recall, I mentioned to you last time that rule of 72, which means if you got a 4% return, you take the rate of return, the 4% in this case, divide it into 72, and it would show you the number of years that it took to double your money. So 4 into 72 in that example is 18 years. The $10,000, if you invested $10,000 initially, would become $20,000. And if you kept it for another 18 years, then the $20,000 would become $40,000. But what if you could triple the rate of return? Let's say you could go from 4% to 12%, tripling the rate of return. You might think that the tripling of the rate from 4 to 12% would also triple the amount of money from 40,000 to 120,000. But I'm going to show you that there's a tremendous difference in this, so we're going to use the book here. Here's that individual that I mentioned at 4%, investing is $10,000. At age 65, 18 years later, he went from age 29 to 65. He had from investing at 10,000, it became 40,000, tripling his rate of return from 4% to 12%. You might think I said might triple the rate of return from $40,000 to 120,000, but in fact, if you look at the chart, the money doubles in 6 years at 12%, and at the end of his period of accumulation, at age 65 again, he has $640,000 rather than the $40,000 that he had at the 4%. Isn't that something? It's an unbelievable, but it's mathematical. There's actually a difference of over $600,000. So the question becomes, where can we get a strategy that would give us higher rates of return without the great risk? And if you recall, last time I showed you 3 different scenarios. One was interest rate investing or safe investing. And if you recall, that got a very low rate of return, 2 to 3% in today's market. I also showed you stock market investing or mutual fund investing, and which has the greater upside potential, but also has the potential for loss, as we experienced in the stock market in 2008 and 2009. I also showed you another scenario, which was indexed investing, where you got most of the benefit of an upscale market, usually capped at around 13%. So up to 13%, you got the gains in the market. But if the market went down, you did not participate in the down market. You kept your gains. So, and you indicated that the indexed investing was the one that you wanted to explore. And as I said, that gain in the marketplace was tied to something called the Standard & Poor's 500. The Standard & Poor's 500 is made up of major companies in the United States, and this index is tied to that. So if the Standard & Poor's gets a 12% rate of return, in that example, you would get a 12% rate of return, even though you're not actually invested in the marketplace. And I want to use an example of what that means, how powerful that statement is, participating in the upscale, but not participating in the down market. And here I'm going to use the chart that's illustrated of an individual who's age 49, wants to have $1 million when he's 55, but it comes into the market in 2003, as you can see on the chart here. Comes in the market in 2003, has some gains as he goes up, but then he has some major losses in the stock market in 2007, 8, and 9. What happened to that $500,000 that he was hoping to get $1 million with. In fact, he was hoping to take the $1 million, get 6 or 8% on, live off the interest, and go travel around the world with his wife. But here's what really happened. After the 10th year, because of the down markets, which he participated in, he had no protection here, the $500,000 actually lost 43% of his money. Let me repeat that. The $500,000 didn't get a gain of any type, but after those years, it got a loss of 43%, or $215,000 loss, which means instead of getting $500,000, his $500,000 principal was now down to $285,000. Very depressing. Mr. Jones, this is something that can never happen to you.